An 11-year-old boy lives with his parents and two older brothers. He is constantly bothered by his 16-year-old brother Danny and his 15-year-old brother Ralph. Recently, they seem to have taken over Preston's room to store a computer system for their small business. Meanwhile, Fred, the working father, also supports his older sons, asking the youngest to make sacrifices. Preston is unhappy with how he is treated but feels powerless to change the situation. He goes to an amusement park to celebrate a friend's birthday, however he can only afford the cheapest rides, unlike his friends because his father only gave him $10. The kids make fun of him because he doesn't have enough money. Preston's family is not poor, but his father is very strict with money and wants his children to learn how to save. The next morning, Preston's older brothers want him to join them for a baseball game, but he doesn't have enough money to buy the tickets needed. Fred explains the importance of saving money if he wants to enjoy things, but the boy says he can't save because he doesn't work. Then his mother gives him an envelope that appears to be an early birthday gift from his grandmother. When he opens it, he finds a blank check. Not understanding it, Preston thinks it is useless because no value is written on it. His father fills it in with $11, which he considers a reasonable amount. When the boy shows dissatisfaction, his father says the money will grow to $1 million with proper interest. That night, Preston tests the theory on his computer and discovers that his $11 would take at least 300,000 years to become $1 million. He becomes sad thinking he will never be a millionaire in his life, despite his dream of having his own house and getting rid of his older brothers from his room. In the next scene, we are introduced to a fugitive named Carl. It is quickly revealed that he escaped from prison on a rainy night and went to an abandoned building where he had hidden a suitcase with $1 million before being arrested. He now arrives at a bank with stolen money and meets the bank president, who used to be Carl's partner in money laundering. Now Carl threatens him, forcing him to move money to avoid FBI suspicion over their transactions. Initially, the president refuses to continue the illegal business, but Carl threatens him with death if he does not comply. With no options left, the president agrees and is instructed to deliver the money to a man named Juice. The next day, Preston rides his bicycle to the same bank to cash an $11 check. However, the friendly bank cashier politely informs him that a minimum of $200 is required for transactions. As a result, Preston leaves without cashing the check. Outside, he sees his check blowing away and starts chasing it, but he ends up falling behind a car, causing his bike to be crushed when the driver reverses. The driver is now forced to pay for the bike. Before writing any amount on the check, he notices a police car approaching, and quickly hands a blank check to the boy before fleeing. Preston returns home with his broken bike and is scolded by his father. He is also grounded for not taking care of his belongings. He does not tell his parents about what happened earlier. In his room, he uses his computer to fill out the check for $1 million and writes a random name on it. He then goes to the bank to cash it. However, a chubby bank employee sends him to Beaver due to the high transaction value. The check contains Carl's signature, and the bank president mistakes Preston for Juice, believing it is part of Carl's plan. Beaver fills Preston's bag with $1 million and lets him leave. As he exits the bank, Preston bumps into Juice, but the man does not pay much attention. Inside the office, Juice introduces himself and asks for the money. The bank president quickly realizes his mistake and runs to fix the situation. Preston goes home and decides to search online for houses for sale. After finding one he likes, he contacts a real estate agent using a robotic voice on his computer. He negotiates the purchase for $300. Before completing the transaction, the agent asks for Preston's name, and the boy chooses the name Macintosh Preston. Preston is extremely happy because he finally feels rich, just as he always dreamed. Meanwhile, Carl discovers the situation and becomes furious. At first, he blames the bank president, but then remembers the blank check he gave to the child, which makes him depressed. To locate Preston, three men decide to check places where he might be. Children usually go out often, so they start searching. Preston makes another purchase, a limousine service, and asks the driver to pick him up. He secretly leaves home to meet his driver, Andre. At first, Andre thinks the boy is joking, but after receiving money, he apologizes and opens the door for Preston. The boy invents a story that the car belongs to his millionaire boss named Macintosh. After hearing this, Andre takes Preston to all the malls in the city, fulfilling his request to buy clothes, toys, video games, and more, filling his day with fun. He then moves to a new house and invites Henry to join him as a thank you gift. On the way back home, Preston visits the bank and decides to inform them that he will soon deposit more than $200. What he does not know is that the cashier is actually an undercover FBI agent investigating money laundering at the bank. The next morning, Fred is about to leave for work, but notices his driveway is blocked by several trucks and workers moving goods into a nearby house. Curious, Fred investigates and discovers that it is Preston giving orders to people. He asks what is happening, and Preston explains that he started a new work project. The boy also orders the workers to clear the driveway for his father. The father is surprised to see his son having so much authority. Eventually, the moving process is completed. Looking at the house, we see it has racetracks, a video game system, Preston's personal office, and even a water park. The whole day is spent together enjoying and having fun. News spreads that a rich man is moving into a new house, and the cashier also hears about it. To discover McIntosh's source of income, she visits his house. When she arrives, Preston is pretending to be McIntosh. The boy says McIntosh is busy and cannot meet anyone. He then changes the subject and invites her to a business meeting. At first, she refuses, but when he introduces himself as McIntosh's financial manager, she agrees, despite knowing about his supposed job. Preston's father still refuses to let him go out at night. To persuade him, Preston whispers that he will show Fred's job prospects to McIntosh. Believing this could benefit his son's relationship with a millionaire, Fred allows him to go. Later, Preston, the cashier, and Carl go to a romantic dinner. During the date, Carl surprises her with an expensive necklace, claiming it is a gift from McIntosh. After dinner, they walk to a fountain and enjoy the moment together. However, they notice Carl and his group approaching quickly. Preston thinks fast, runs to the car, and they escape before any trouble occurs. Before leaving, he tells her that McIntosh will host a birthday party that weekend and invites her. Knowing McIntosh will be there, she agrees to attend. Another day, Preston hires a party planner to organize everything. The planner charges $10,000 for the service. With such a large expense, she organizes a fancy dinner and saves the remaining money. Later that day, Preston feels worried about his friends leaving and becomes completely bored and alone. To pass the time, he rides his bike to the park and watches other children playing. This makes him reflect on his life. At one point, Carl and his group appear in the same park and spot Preston. He immediately escapes on his bike, starting a long chase. Their goal is to capture the boy, but during the pursuit, their car gets stuck on top of other cars. Carl believes stealing another $1 million would be easier than catching the child. Following this idea, the trio accidentally meets Preston's friend and forces him to reveal Preston's name and address. The birthday party happens that same night and everything seems ready. Preston uses his influence to force his older brothers to work for him. When they discover about the cashier, they accuse her of being a gold digger, saying she is only interested in Preston's money. This makes her sad. She later asks Henry about gold diggers, and he confirms that some of his friends are only interested in money, which makes Preston even sadder. Meanwhile, the cashier and her team discover that McIntosh has no official records, leading them to conclude he is a criminal hiding his identity. They decide to capture him that night. Later at the party, the manager presents Preston with the total costs, amounting to $100,000, leaving him shocked. He goes to his room to check his balance and discovers he only has $332 left and cannot pay the bill. While still on the computer, his father arrives and starts talking to who he thinks is McIntosh. Since it is Preston's birthday, he asks McIntosh to send him home early. During the conversation, he talks about his son and how much pressure he puts on him without realizing it. Preston hears everything and becomes emotional. He realizes how much his father cares about him. Moments later, Preston turns around and sees that his father has already left. He then looks for Henry, but also discovers he is gone. Thinking Henry is a gold digger, Preston becomes upset and ends the party. The manager realizes there is no money left, meaning she will not be paid, and causes a scene, ordering everyone to leave. Preston is left alone at home. When the doorbell rings, he thinks it is Henry, but instead it is 3 criminals. Scared, Preston reveals the truth. Carl demands the money, but he does not believe the boy could have spent $1 million in 6 days. He brings Carl for a private conversation, suggesting he should take the McIntosh identity to start a new life. Meanwhile, the others try to escape, leading to a chase inside the house. Preston uses his knowledge of the house to outsmart them, but Carl eventually captures him. However, the FBI arrives in time and orders everyone to stop. The trio is arrested for fraud, money laundering, and robbery. Carl even tries to assume the Macintosh identity, but is arrested. After discovering that the cashier is an FBI agent, Preston realizes she cannot be his girlfriend. However, she proves otherwise by kissing him and asking him to call her later. 10 years later, the boy goes outside and meets Henry, who reveals he came to bring ice cream for the party. Since they can no longer work together, they say goodbye. In the final scene, Preston returns home and celebrates his birthday happily with his family. And so we reach the end. If you enjoyed this summary, I'm sure you'll love these 2 recommendations I prepared for you. Just click the card and see you next time.